is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a leader who believed that all people should be judged by their character, not by their race. He gave speeches to promote equal rights in our country.
My name is Harriet Tubman. I was born a slave and treated badly. I eventually escaped. Once I was free, I wanted to help others. I began the Underground Railroad to help other slaves become free.
Hi, I am Jackie Robinson. A life is not important except in the impact it has on another lives.
I was born in 1919 in Cairo, Georgia. At 6 months, my mother and siblings moved to Pasadena, California. We were the only African Americans in the neighborhood. I needed to be better than others to be able to play with the other kids. I graduated from college receiving the all-around Best Athlete of the Year. I was an Army officer during World War II. I returned home after the war and began to play baseball. At that time, no African Americans could play in the major leagues. I changed that when I began playing for the Dodgers. I worked hard so people would accept African Americans. I'm not concerned you're or disliking me. All I ask is that you respect me as a human being.
Gorman. On Wednesday, January 20th, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris was sworn into office. At the inaugural ceremony, Amanda Gorman, 22, recited a poem that she wrote. It is called The Hill We Climb. Since then, a video of her powerful performance has gone viral. People all over the world have been talking about her message of unity, hope, and change. Here are 10 things to know about this inspiring young poet.
Gorman is the youngest inaugural poet in American history. Amanda Gorman, who at 22 is the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history. She read her poem, The Hill We Climb, during the President Biden's inaugural ceremony at the Capitol in Washington on January 2021.
Amanda Gorman was invited to write and perform an original poem by First Lady Joe Biden. Inviting a poet to perform at the inaugural ceremony is a tradition. It began with President John F. Kennedy's inauguration in 1961. Since then, 3 other presidents have invited poets to read a poem at the inaugurations. Past inaugural poets include Robert Frost and Maya Angelou.
She has a speech impediment. That means it's hard for Gorman to say certain letters of the alphabet. The letter R is especially hard for her.
At the age, Gorman began writing poetry to help her find her voice. Then in high school, she began reciting her poetry out loud.
This helped her improve her speech. She says singing songs from one of her favorite musicals, Hamilton, also helped.
She did a lot of research before writing her famous poem, The Hill We Climb. Gorman studied speeches by past leaders like Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King Jr. In a radio interview, Gorman said these speeches helped her understand how words can be used for good.
In 2017, Ms. Gorman was named the nation's first ever National Youth Poet Laureate. A National Youth Poet Laureate is the winner of a national competition that recognizes young poets for their talent and the meaning of their work. As a Poet Laureate, Gorman has recited her poems at the Library of Congress and at special events. She has also appeared on television programs.
A famous quote of Amanda Gorman is, "For there's always light. If only were I brave enough to see it, if only were I brave enough to be it." This is from Miss Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb.
She has written 2 books, One is a children's book called Change Sings. The other is a book of her poetry called The Hill We Climb. Both came out in September 2021.
She is an activist. Many of whom talk about racism and other important issues. She believes that poetry can be used for change.
She has won several awards for the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. These awards were founded in 1923. Their goal is to honor the talent of creativity across the country. In 2015 and 2016, Gorman won several regional awards in the competition. In 2016, she won the National Silver Medal for novel writing.
In 2017, Gorman told the New York Times that she wants to run for president in 2036. The idea came from a conversation with a teacher. She included this goal in her inaugural poem.
Thank you for letting us share what we learned about Amanda Gorman. She is an amazing poet and leader. At only 23, she is already changing the world. Bye, Wildcats. Anne is Oprah. Oprah is a talk show host, TV producer, actress, author, and philanthropist.
The life of LeBron James. LeBron James was born in Akron, Ohio in 1984. He began playing basketball at 9 years old. After graduating high school, he skipped college and went to the NBA. Since then, he has been on many teams. LeBron played in high school. He played on the U.S. Olympic team and 3 NBA teams. He has won 4 NBA championships. LeBron works hard and always wants to win. He's an inspiration to young athletes everywhere. LeBron now runs a foundation where he supplies young students of Akron things they need for their future and provides them with mentors. LeBron James is a great player and great person.
Hi, my name is Bessie Coleman.
Bessie Coleman was the first African-American woman pilot. Bessie was born in Atlanta, Texas, January 26, 1892. She had 12 brothers and sisters. Her mother was a maid and her father was a sharecropper.
Bessie got her education from Langston University, but she got her pilot license from Caldron Brothers School of Aviation in France because she was a black woman in the USA. Sadly, she died on April 30th, 1926 at 34 years old. She had died in a plane crash because a loose wrench got stuck in the engine of her plane.
My name is Mae Jemison. I was a NASA astronaut and the first black woman to travel into space. I was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame and the International Space Hall of Fame.
I'm Ruby Bridges. She made it possible for all of us to go to school together.
Muhammad Ali was born on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky. His birth name was Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. He grew up in the segregated South. At the age of 12, he discovered his talent for boxing after his bike was stolen.
Police officer Joe Martin trained young Cassius at the local gym. He won his first amateur boxing match by split decision in 1954. In 1956, he won the Golden Gloves tournament in the light heavyweight class. 3 years later, he won the National Golden Gloves Tournament of Champions.
In 1960, Cassius Clay won a spot on the U.S. Olympic boxing team. After his Olympic victory, he was an American hero.
He soon turned professional with the backing of Louisville sponsoring group. In 1964, Clay joined the Black Muslim group where he settled on the name Muhammad Ali. In the 1970s, he converted to Orthodox Islam. In April 1967, he was drafted into the military but refused to serve because he was practicing Muslim minister with religious beliefs that prevented him from fighting. He was arrested for committing a felony and stripped of his world title and boxing license. June 1967, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Ali returned to the ring in 1970. In June 1971, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned his conviction. Ali retired in 1981 at the age of 39.
I'm Ronald McNair. I was born in Lake City, South Carolina on October 21st, 1950. I was a physicist and one of the first African American astronauts to go into space. I was asked to go into space as a specialist on mission STS-51L. I died on January 28, 1986. 6 others during takeoff on the Space Shuttle Challenger.
I'm Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. Dr. Williams
founded
Chicago's Public Hospital. This is the first non-surgical hospital in the United States. In 1893, he performed the first successful heart surgery.
Hello, my name is Kobe Bean Bryant. My nickname is the Black Mamba. My parents named me after a type of steak. I was born on August 23rd, 1978 in Pennsylvania. I lived in Italy for 8 years and I was a big fan of soccer. I loved basketball since I was 3 years old. I was the first guard to be drafted by the NBA out of high school, and I was the youngest player to start in the NBA game. My wife is Vanessa, and I have 4 girls. I spent my entire 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers. We won 5 championships, and I retired in 2016. My daughter, Gigi, and I were on our way to her basketball game when our helicopter crashed. Sadly, none of the passengers survived. I was 41 years old when I passed away.
Hello, my name is Josiah Crimson, but for today I will pretend to be someone from the past. My name is Garrett Morgan. I am a black inventor. I am responsible for several important inventions which include an improved sewing machine and the gas mask. But one of my most important inventions was the improved traffic light. After seeing a bad accident in my home city of Cleveland, Ohio, I decided to improve the traffic light that was in use. The new light had 3 signals: stop, go, and stop in all directions. I received the patent for my invention in 1923. My name is Garrett Morgan. I am an inventor.
This is Jean-Michel Basquiat, an African-American artist who rose to fame in the late 1970s. Much of his artwork is still being recognized till this day. His artwork is now posted on shirts and even shoes for the world to see, along with his awesome paintings.
Hello, my name is Jean-Michel Basquiat. I was born in Brooklyn, New York on December 22nd, 1960. My childhood wasn't easy, but it's what motivated me to work hard and become the famous painter whose artwork you see today. My artwork is a mix of graffiti and abstract art. I also portray or show themes or ideas based on other African American historical figures. My life may have been short-lived, but it definitely wasn't wasted.
Hey, my name is Michael Jordan. Michael was born on February the 17th, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. He was a former professional American basketball player, Olympic athlete, businessman, and actor. He was known as one of the best basketball players ever. During the mid-1980s to the late 1990s, during his career, he led the Chicago Bulls to 6 National Basketball Association championships and earned the NBA's Most Valuable Player award 5 times.
Frederick Douglass was born a slave in February 1818. He was born on a farm in Maryland. He was raised by his grandmother until he was 6. He was taught to read by his master's wife, which was against the law. He tried to escape the farm when he was 15, but he got caught. He tried to again in 1838 and made it to New York, but he was still a slave. He went to England and gave lots of speeches and was able to buy his freedom. He wrote 3 books about slavery and fought to end slavery. He wanted all people to be treated equally.
Rosa Parks grew up in Alabama during a time that the country was still segregated. Segregation is when people are treated differently because of their skin color. White people and black people each had to separate churches, schools, and stores to go to. Black people could only drink out of water fountains that said "for colored only," and had to sit in the back of public buses. Rosa believed that segregation was wrong, and she wanted to do something to change it.
In 1955, Rosa refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man. The driver called the police, who came and arrested Rosa. That night, many leaders decided to start a boycott, meaning that people would refuse to ride segregated buses. The bus company lost money during the boycott, which lasted 381 days. Eventually, the Supreme Court ended the segregation laws in Alabama.
Yeah.